I can see that we have already 46 participants. Hello, everyone, and warm welcome to this online webinar provided by Capture on the PMI platform. In today's fast-changing AI-driven world, we'll explore an exciting question. Do we still need project managers? To make this webinar comfortable, please, all attendees will be muted during the session. If you have any question, don't hesitate to use the Q&A chat box. Also, this webinar is recorded. We would be very happy to see some of your faces, so please turn on your cameras. If we do not have enough time to reply to all of your questions, we will reply on them with the post-event communication together with the slides. And we also highly recommend you to participate in the polls. Your feedback is highly appreciated. Today, our agenda is a short introduction, followed by the main topic, and then we will answer all your questions and provide you some key takeaways. And let me briefly introduce who we are. Project Management Institute Switzerland chapter was founded in 2001, and next year we are proudly celebrate our 25th anniversary. We are a non-profit organization representing the largest project management community in Switzerland. We have over 2,000 members with over 100 active volunteers. Our mission is to empower professionals through learning platforms, certification programs, online and on-site events, which help people boost their skills and networking. We provide mentorship programs, social impact projects, and also we organize major events such as annual member meeting and International Project Management Day. We also support students. PMI also partners with organizations that share our vision, and one of our valued sponsors is Capture, who is delivering today's webinar. We are grateful for this collaboration and look forward for many more fruitful years. But now we are very interested. Where are you from and in which industry are you working in? Please use the poll and fill in the questions. I will give you a couple of minutes and our tech team will help with the replies. Wow, that's very interesting. Most of the people are from Switzerland and Africa and North America. There should be an issue with the time zone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's see. Be active. We are really interested about that. Wonderful. Today we have 3 PMI representatives, and if you have any questions, please feel free to place it in the Q&A or in the chat, and also you can scan the QR code and connect with us directly. And now it's the time and my pleasure to hand over the floor to our esteemed speakers, Junior and Istvan, both bring extensive expertise and deep experience in their fields, and they will guide you through this topic today. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. As you might have seen on the slide, my name is Junior Soma. I'm also part of the Capture Group. And yeah, on paper, I'm a sales manager, but in spirit, I'm a customer service champion. That's how I like to see myself. Meaning that I want to bring customers or people that we work together with the experts that we have to create the most value for the customers and therefore the most satisfaction. And the way how we do it is we operate worldwide, we would say, but primarily in the DACH region and the CEE region, where we consult and implement ServiceNow projects, specifically SPM and also enterprise architecture. So this is our main business. This is our DNA. This is where we are coming from. And that's why we would also consider ourselves to be a boutique company or boutique ServiceNow partner, that specializes in those fields. But of course, we are also always ready on yeah, to help you with all the other stuff or questions that you have around ServiceNow. But this is our primary focus. And we also support our customers in questions in regards to licensing support. So and I'm quite sure that we won't be able to cover that much today. We are going to give you a quick insight. And then if you have any questions after this event, please feel free to always reach out to me and or Istvan. And Istvan, I would say the floor is yours.
I had to find the unmute button, but I'm here and I hope you can hear me. Good evening, everyone. I'm back. Maybe we've seen each other before last year at the PMI Summit, where I could have the possibility to present and open the event. Actually, today I will have another topic for you, and I will focus more on the PM related role changes. But before I start, for those who never met me, I would like to just quickly introduce myself. My name is István Görgei, and yes, that's a weird Hungarian name. I originally from Hungary, but I live here in Zurich. And basically, I have a really long experience with project portfolio management. And I started as a project manager 16 years ago, 17 years ago almost. And basically, this is the experience what I will share today with you. Currently, I'm the managing director for a ServiceNow business unit internally in Capture Group. And basically, as you can see on the slide as well, I have multiple methodology experience. So, of course, beginning of my career, I did Six Sigma and Lean. After that, I had the PMI a certificate. Then I moved forward and I had the Skill Agile Framework certificate. So this is my experience. But I always focused on the platform and the enterprise tools, how to support the project managers, how to support the portfolio managers, how to support the PMO. And I touched tons of solutions and implemented many for bigger enterprises. This is the list, but you can read it on the screen. So I would jump to the content, what you already seen. At the beginning, I just would like to showcase my experience and my vision about how the project manager role will change and what we will see in the future here. After that, I will showcase a little bit about how we can align or business and technology and how we can align the strategy with operation. After that, I will have a really quick demo again from ServiceNow, how we can manage everything what I summarized before. And yeah, we will have the possibility to answer your questions. So actually, I think we will have 15 minutes for those. I can see now the question and answers form on top of my screen, but I won't stop during your questions, and I will try to answer those after the presentation. So let's jump in. So I started my career in a General Electric company, but it was actually a bank, so part of the G Money Group. And at the beginning, I had a task to, as a project manager or project manager trainee, to handle or support the implementation of a project portfolio management tool. But I really haven't got that time, that experience, and I had to learn a lot about what does it mean to be project manager. What does it mean like a project? Previously at the university, of course, we had projects, but in a real life or a real organization, it was quite a different experience. So I had to learn, and this is when I started with Six Sigma and Lean, because GE is original manufacturing company, and in the bank we started to use that methodology, but later on we figured out that PMI is the best choice for or waterfall projects. And I can clearly remember for that one that we always had this kind of triangle on our slides where we had the time, the budget, and the scope, and of course the quality. And this is how I could basically describe that role, what I felt that time, that I had to manage those three components, considering the quality and the results as well, of course. And I had to do some scheduling and resource plans and everything around here. I had to coordinate multiple teams around this kind of project portfolio management implementation because we had business stakeholders, we had different change management teams, we had also the risk included and the portfolio team and the financial planning, etc., etc. So we had multiple teams where I had to do some coordination. The other stuff, of course, to manage risk, the quality standards, of course, and I had to prepare some reports. And if I look back, that was the project manager's role, and this is how I could define my role that time. But somehow it started to evolve, let's say, or change. Basically, I would call this role in the 2010 years like a coordinator role. But later on, basically the agile word boomed into our situation. And after that, somehow the product manager role started to evolve. And actually, when I had, this kind of career changes where then I joined Capture, we started to do some agile implementations as well for our customers. And when I acted as a consultant on those projects, I always said to the bigger corporates that we must eliminate the project manager role because the future is about the product managers, and the product managers needs to oversee more. They should have a product vision, more about the roadmaps and the strategy behind. They need to think about the backlog, the features. So totally new words that we really haven't experienced before. And this role started to collaborate instead of just coordinate with the different stakeholders. And basically, what I experienced here that in many transformation projects, the project managers started to move towards to this role, and they started to do more like customer-centric and customer value driven work in organizations. And basically, this kind of project culture started to disappear from the corporates and the companies. And yeah, we arrived to this kind of situation where we can totally tell that those guys and the product managers started to collaborate inside the companies. However, with this kind of disappearance of the structure and the governance, we found ourselves in that situation that no one really had the lead. We just wanted to have a good product, but the cross dependencies and everything around the product started to a little bit disappear from our eyes. So we had just everything built around the product. So we realized that that we created something like a chaos inside the corporation. And to think back, I always had, after a few successful transformations, the question from the top level management, how we will have our annual planning, or how we will get budgets for a year, how we will see what we can spend on different products. And we couldn't answer this question because we had to say, okay, but this is an agile environment. Now we are working on the prioritized backlog items, and we cannot really create a budget for this. So we started to handle the team as a budgetary item for a year for the financial planning period. But that was not really the solution. They wanted actually the previous situation back, that they should think about the projects And that was a big challenge. And of course, Scaled Agile framework somehow managed this kind of situation. But if I need to be true about the situation at the background, projects never disappeared. And project managers, state project managers, we just renamed the role and added some other functions to them and added some other tasks to them and new words, but everything basically stayed the same. And to manage both environment, the project environment and the product-related agile environment, from reporting perspective, from coordination, collaboration, or structure perspective, is really hard. And then we arrive to this kind of new hybrid age when we need to see that basically all the project managers needs to be something like a superhero. So we can see chaos like the Antichrist in this kind of situation. And the project managers needs to be the superheroes who can help us to solve this situation. So in the new era, in this kind of hybrid era, we need a new role, and I'm more than sure about this that the academics and all the methodology creators will figure out a new name for this kind of role. I will call it super PM or strategic PM, but to be honest, it's still the same. It's still the same, but we need to see more. And I have a vision about that one, that the strategic project manager, the super PM, must act like a conductor here. And basically, she or he must have this kind of alignment role in the organization, and not just from culture perspective, but she or he needs to really align together the strategy and the operation. So this is the main function. And if you think about the value stream, she or he must see this from end-to-end perspective. And basically, this is a new role and a new situation that someone needs to oversee everything with all the complexity and connections. This role should establish something like freedom, but in a structured way. So this is something what we must achieve to really have an organization working. Of course, we need to be adaptable, and we need to connect everything together. But that's a really huge task. So if you consider this kind of journey from the coordinator to the collaborator and now to the conductor must have some items which can help them in this kind of new role, because I can feel it that this complexity is too much for one person, and this complexity is too much for one role. So we must support this role somehow. And this is the idea where I'm trying to build my presentation today, how to solve this for every single strategic project manager. So what we must manage here, that's the value stream, of course, but we must see the strategic items. We need to connect those with products. We need to connect those with programs and projects. And we need to ensure that we have the services interconnected as well. And that's really important, because we always forgot about that all the projects and the programs are developing some kind of service, a business service, an IT service, or something around the services. Of course, services has other components, different other sub-services and stuff like this. But that's the same for the product. So this is the point where we can actually address a lot of things. So if we're coming from the services part, we can always say that this is just a different structure if we are coming from the project or from the product side. And of course, you can use different kind of delivery methodology for the product and the project programs or projects. However, the connection point is always the services. And this is what we must align with the strategy. So this is how I see what is the scope for us, what we must manage. However, we need to consider that we have our hegemony, so basically that kind of culture what we have from the past, and we should give some autonomy for teams to really handle this situation. And we must use the cultural thing as well. And of course, in a structured way, we should communicate it and deliver this. So this is the idea. But how to really do this? That's the question. So if we consider that we have this kind of strategy project manager currently or in the future, she or he must have this kind of subject matter expertise. So this role should understand the business strategy, all the procedures, processes, workflows, and policies around the topic where they are actually acting, and they should have data to basically create something based on the data. It's really important that we should have a consolidated data there, and we should see all the planning and delivery data in one place. Of course, if we think about the business-oriented projects and the business-oriented initiatives, we should understand all the feedbacks from the market, but not just those ones which is coming from the customers, but actually we should see some market components and market data about the competitors as well, and we should have a correlation between those. So just imagine a case, and I would like to showcase it later in real life scenario. So if you are building something in your project, maybe let's say that's a 1.5 year long project, and in your design phase, you design something like a functionality or a feature for your product. Basically, we can continuously monitor, or we should monitor continuously, how to change this kind of functionality based on the competitors and the market requirements. And this is the strongest part, how to inherit this kind of data. The other thing what we need, of course, is the tooling. I do not want to go so deep inside this part. It needs to be simple, and it needs to be holistic from that perspective. That what you will see a little bit later, that we have this kind of chaos about the tooling part as well. We need, of course, AI, because now it's available. This can be used for various reasons. And I would like to showcase you later in the demo, how can we inherit those AI functionalities and use cases in our project management life, and how can we reduce the administration and basically get this kind of data, what I mentioned previously. And the last thing is alignment. And I believe that's the most important part, because we need to somehow follow, and I know the solution for this, how and what's happening from top down and bottom up perspective. So that's a dream of mine, that I would like to see, if I'm working on a task, how it's connected to our strategy, and if I complete this task, what we will gain out from my task in the matter of strategical level. So that's a really important thing to see on an individual level as well. And of course, it's really important as well to show this for our top management, how the strategy and all the goals completed during our projects or agile initiatives. Yeah, so what about the alignment? How we can ensure that we are aligned? And this is where I want to stay a bit. So the first thing where we need to see the alignment possibilities, that's the strategy, where we should shift the funds, and we are always shifting the funds, and all the timeline what we have in the projects and products, it's always shifting as well. And we must be aligned with those to actually represent the strategical change on the project and agile initiative level as well. The second thing is the visibility. This is what I mentioned before, that the teams and the stakeholders, the business owners should have the same visibility from top down and bottom up as well. We should ensure that our teams have the methodology what they want to use. So it doesn't matter if it's an agile, traditional waterfall or a hybrid one. We must provide them what they need, but we must figure out how to connect it for the strategical level as well. And of course, OKRs, all goals, and the performance indicators what we have on the top of the organization in the structured cascading way. This is what we should track as well, and we should see it real time if we have any kind of discrepancy here. Yeah, this is a simple process what we should do in our work. So we should define the strategy, and we should define the goals and OKRs next to the strategy. We should do some strategic road mapping and of course enterprise architecture. If you think about enterprise architecture, I put it here because it's not just about the IT environment what you have in your organization. Most of the companies using enterprise architecture just for the IT related stuff. However, I mean here all the business processes and everything related to the business services and actually the product structure what we are thinking about here. If you think about the prioritization, we always consider two items as the ideas, what's coming from internal or external stakeholders, and the demands actually what we can collect. However, we should have feedbacks as well. And the feedback could mean in that scenario and in this case, something from the market as well. So something that's coming from the competitors or some market signals, what you can trigger and you can build into your prioritization. And after that, you can do your portfolio planning and of course the delivery. And this is the simple way to get value for our customers. So this is the procedure. However, what we see that from tooling perspective, we have tons of different components. And as you can see here, I listed few. So we have emails, we have Excels, we have other products like Microsoft SharePoint, like Jira, like other components. And basically to get the data out from those components, you can always do this via integration. But we all know that integration costs us a lot of money. And if we have something like a problem during the integration that we won't have the data, so we must call the IT guys to repair this kind of connection. So that's the hard way, but it also works, of course. However, we can have other solutions to handle this. So how does it look like if we go a little bit deeper in this kind of procedure? First of all, as I mentioned, we must define the strategy and the alignment with all the goals and OKRs. We need to figure out the funding for those components or initiatives what we have in this kind of strategic roadmap. And basically after this, we can ensure that we have a connection, the right connection to our enterprise architecture. So we must see if we have one item on a strategic roadmap, how it will evolve, change, and modify in our technology portfolio, any item, or in our application portfolio, or in our business architecture. So this is really meaningful that we should have at the beginning this kind of connection just to see the effect of those items. After that, we can think about the demands and the ideas coming from different stakeholders, of course, employees or customers, and we must ensure that our product portfolio is enabled from this perspective as well, that we should see all the feedbacks and the product ideas coming into one place. And this is the most important part, that in our pipeline, we should see all the elements, not just the demands or the IT related stuff, but also the business related items to clearly see where we need to put our focus. If we have this pipeline, we can do this kind of continuous planning, which means that we need to prioritize real time all the elements. We need to create the delivery roadmaps, and we need to align or assign resources, so the capacity and the financials, to all those initiatives. And this is a really interesting and meaningful part. We are not just talking about the projects. We should see here everything. So all the epics, all the incoming ideas, demands, product feedbacks, everything in one bucket. And from delivery perspective, we even need to consider more. So if we see this kind of chart here or diagram at the top right corner, so if we talk about the delivery, we just, and this is my experience as well, we just planned most of the cases or projects or deliverables from Epic's perspective. However, we have tons of other plannable items. Like imagine that we have or supporting from IT perspective, and they have something like an incident. Somehow they need to focus on that incident because it's a higher priority for the company, and therefore they won't have the time to work on a project. So we need to see those effects on our plans, and this is also really important. If we do something like a resource allocation, we should do it on a daily basis. And I know how to plan or multitask projects, but actually this is where we can give some help with tooling. So originally, just to think about the Microsoft project era, when we had to plan, I don't know, 600 tasks and do the resource allocation, and some, and when it accepted or approved, then we had to replan it, and it was a nice nightmare, because if you changed one day in your schedule, then you had to reapprove everything on that line. And yeah, I know this is really hard, but we have the solution for this. So one thing what we must ensure as well, to have our DevOps integrated to this. I know that's a little bit IT stuff. However, I've seen so many organizations who actually could reach this kind of continuous planning, and they did it on project and agile perspective as well. However, they cannot really do the release management. So that's the problem. That if you did the planning and you deliver the work, but you cannot release it out on a continuous basis, then you will stuck as well. So just experiencing the same, that your customers will receive the products on, I don't know, on an annual basis, not on a monthly basis, as it would be possible because of the delivery and the continuous planning. So this is something where we should put some focus on. And we have this benefit realization, which is also really important to measure back what we did, and to measure back and connect back to the strategy, what we actually got out from this. And if you consider this kind of picture like a real life scenario, you should see your costs coming from your organization, and not just from your resources or your assets, but also from your DevOps ecosystem. And you should see your cost in a detailed way, and you should see your benefit in a detailed way as well, to compare if one of our products or a value stream completely not profitable. So this is why we are doing it at the end of the day, to see real numbers, real results, and a comparison back to the plan. how to change your planning cycles to have better end results at the end of the process, let's say, because we cannot really just say project because we have tons of other elements here. Okay, then, so that was the logic and the background, and I would like to showcase you now a live demonstration. We have 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes till the question and answers. So I will try to be quick. Currently, what you can see, that's the ServiceNow system. I think that's the latest Zurich release. We just had this release, I think, 1.5 months ago. We had a huge celebration here in Zurich. And basically, we have some AI enabled functionalities available. Currently, what you can see, that's the portfolio planning inside ServiceNow. That's part of the strategy portfolio management module. And here we have our elements in a list view, in a portfolio. We call it like Acme Corporation. And here you can see the planning item type. So this is project, this is epic, this is demand. We can have everything here in one list, and we can do the ranking quickly just to see how important this item for us. And we're using this kind of ranking naming convention because it's really important to understand that it's not a priority. If you just put that a priority, no one can really create a list. So we always advise our customers and everyone in our side that we must consider ranking instead of just priorities. We can see some Moscow score here, some percentage completed. So we are already working on those items. We have this view from a different angle on a roadmap. And this is where it gets tricky because you will see different kind of portfolios like application modernization, digital business transformation, HR, product development, sales, and we have empty items as well where we do not have any portfolio selected. And you can see here a real roadmap, and the colors actually telling me colors are telling me that which one is which type. So this is a project, this is a demand, this is an epic, and I can put together this kind of high-level plan, and I can use those kind of lines to highlight the dependencies. So this is something really similar like you have in your project Gantt chart, but on a strategic level. So that's really a different view from that angle. And we can have really important milestones marked here if you would consider to plan your products here or some product launch where you have multiple things together. So this is actually a planning view. I can also add this kind of tracking view, and I should see if I would have enough data where we are from percentage perspective. Of course, this can come from the earned value method. This can come from the actual user story delivery. So we can have multiple options here. Yeah. So that's it about that one. We can have a Kanban view, but I won't go there. We could see the capacity and the financials, but I would like to focus a little bit on the goals. So we can also address goals here, and we have the possibility to actually add multiple goals to our portfolio, to our strategy. And you can see here that we have some goals without parent goals or without targets or without any kind of work aligned. So I can click on one and I can check where we doesn't have enough work or any kind of work connected. So I can know that from the current improved homepage UX story or goal setting, we do not have any kind of project epic or demand defined. So we must figure out something to handle this kind of goal as well. This is really important for us. The other thing, this is where we could support the project managers and this kind of strategy project manager role. That's the feedback view. And about the feedback, I would like to show you what we can get out from the system. And this is just an example coming from customers, real customers, all the feedbacks, but we can generate those feedbacks using AI. It means that we can have an agent inside or tool, and it can on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis, it doesn't matter, can collect all the market trends. It means that if we have something defined like an epic or a task under a project, we see the scope items, what we must complete over there, it can compare with the market trends. So if someone like another company or competitor has a new product and it has a feature and is better than ours, what we're currently developing, it can create a feedback for us. And this is really, really the important part, that from all the feedbacks, I can select those where I have the same customer or the same component like AI component, and I can group them together and I can add those like a new project, demand or epic inside or solution. So let's do the following. I will just list for the HubSpot product, and we just have one that's not the best example. Let's select another one. Acme. Okay, let's see what we have under Acme. Yeah, we have multiple products here. I will select here the HR management. So if I select those together, I can ask our internal AI just to summarize it for us, because the problem to read all those, we do not really have time for this, so we must get some support from the system and it can create a summary for us. After this summary, we have the possibility to copy and create a product idea, but we have more possibilities. We can create a demand, we can create an epic, but I will create now a project. I will call it like new HR product market signals. And I need to select some stuff here, like the primary goal, what I would like to do. And I will select employee wellness, and I can set the department. It will be HR. And that's it. Yeah, I need to set the date. I will set it back up. I will set it back a bit because my portfolio starts at 2024 and I must ensure that it will be visible inside my portfolio. So I will put it like here and like here. Okay then. And if I click on submit, most probably it will create a new project and I can view it here. So I will click on this one and I can go to the next tab. Here is my project. I have a description that's generated by AI, and I have some status information and some portfolio product and other items. And if I go back to this kind of portfolio planning view, I should have it underneath, Acme Corporation. This is my portfolio, and I should have it at my planning view, and I can work with that one right away from this screen. It will have the lowest ranking in that list, and basically this is how I can start with my new project. To be honest, the other part of the demo is about how to generate project tasks out of this kind of tiny information, how to generate the the business case, the financials, the risks, and everything else. But this is what we already presented for you. And we have some webinars about this one. And the time is getting over, so I won't go deeper in this topic. And I will try to answer the questions. Yeah. Okay, then. So we have some answers here. Questions, sorry. So slides will be put available. Yes, I'm looking at the colleagues in the call, but I think Project Management Switzerland, yeah, will provide the slides. We will figure it out how, but it will be in a PDF format. Yeah, we have another question. What resource planning tool do you use for capacity planning? Basically, we have multiple levels of capacity planning. If you're thinking about the strategic level, we always consider to use something like an aggregator. So we recommend to use a department or a team or a role like the planning items for the roadmap, strategic roadmap items. We do not need to have nominated or named resources here. We just need to have those ones where we can do the high level planning. And later on, if this project, child initiative, epic, whatever, converted or approved, then we can do the named resource planning. In case of the epic, of course, you can allocate to a team, and the team can then separate it to user stories and tasks, etc., etc. So this is how we do this, but we have different levels. So yeah, this is different. I hope I answered that question. In this approach, why prioritization is after founding? It is envelope given compared against financials of initiatives down the road. Yeah, so basically funding is for the portfolio. So when you do this kind of approach, the most important part to have funding for the strategic items. And later on in the continuous planning, this is where we are allocating real money. So if I go back to that concept, the idea here is to do here only the strategic funding, and we just figure out how much money we will spend for the full strategy on an annual basis or a quarterly basis or whatever. And after that, we can do this kind of financial allocation in the continuous planning. And this is the concept, how it should work. I hope I could answer that question as well. Yeah, what's the meaning of Moscow? Yeah, I see that you have the answer here. Question, do we still project manage it? Answer, yes, agreed with product management skill set. Yeah, of course, so this is a combination, so you get it right. And I wanted to highlight this story that project managers representing for me the structure in an organization, and the product managers represent something like a collaboration inside the organization. And we now need for this kind of new situation, the combination, so this kind of hybrid approach, but we still need the structure and of course the freedom as well. So this is where we should find the balance, and this is how you should think about your role as well. And that's really important, what I wanted to highlight with this kind of presentation, that tooling, data, alignment, and AI, all the things what you should use for your work and your career development and your career goals. If an organization cannot really provide those to you, then you should ask for, because this is a so complex environment where what we are talking about, and to manage it on in a notebook or in Excel, that's not possible. So you need those kind of digital technologies which can help you to really fulfill your role requirements. So that's my recommendation, and this is my vision about how the project manager role will grow, and I'm more than sure. And I must say I had an opposite idea 5 years ago or 6 years ago, but I'm more than sure today that project managers and this kind of mindset and the whole methodology will stay with us, because this is the core and the basics, and we must put on this some new and available functionalities, possibilities, and therefore you can perform better and you can oversee the whole procedure. Yeah, okay. Okay, ServiceNow can support the project managers, but the main question of the webinar remains, do we will still need the project manager? I have been hearing that for years. How do we move forward, specifically when we are in the more competitive market? Yeah, this is what I wanted to answer in the previous comment from my side, that yes, we still need project managers, and the project manager role is in change and in an evolution, and with the tooling and with all the help, it will be absolutely necessary, and the competitive market information what you can include in your scope, that's really the answer for this. So you must use in that case all that information what's available about the competitive market to include in your project, epic, whatever, so in your portfolio, and you must change your strategy around this kind of competition requirements. So this is also a top-down pressure, but from your project you can also, and you should see if something what you are currently developing, not just from IT perspective, but from business perspective, it's marketable, or if the competitor has some advanced functionality. So you should think about that one and include in your scope and change your scope that way. So that's my answer to that one. I hope I could answer those. Yeah, so we have, this is the last one. If you have any open question, just let me know. 3, 2, 1, and we are ready to close the session. I would like to ask my colleague to come back for a moment, because yeah, we have some closure slides here. And Junior, the floor is yours. I will close it like this, and yeah, I should click on here.
Thank you very much, Ishti, for a very insightful demo or presentation overall. And we should see some slides in a few seconds. And if not, I just breathe over it without them. It's fine. So because what I'm basically, pardon?
Can you see it?
I cannot see, but maybe it's just my mistake.
Yeah, if you change it that way, Mal, can you see it?
No, but it's just me. It's fine. Because what we had the question earlier if the slides are going to be shared, and I think so they will. And if they will, then you will get, of course, our whole presentation. And within you will also find a slide with various links to basically find places where you can contact us, ranging from our website to our LinkedIn and so on and so on. And there's also events that we are going to attend. So yesterday we attended the Vienna event. Today we're here. Next week we are in Hamburg. And yeah, if there's any chance you might be around, feel free to reach out to us, talk to us. And if you have any other questions that you want to be answered and you have 30 minutes during a coffee break, feel always free to connect with us, and let's just have a discussion whenever you're ready and open to it. And that is it from our side. Thank you very much, Ishti, again for presenting. And thank you very much to the colleagues from PMI Switzerland for giving us the stage. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. If you would like to close the session with your own words, then the stage is yours.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much for this insightful presentation. That was really, really interesting and useful for everyone, I believe. And thank you so much for placing the feedback form, because we are really curious the opinion of our participants. Since we have one more question, could you please reply on that, either Junior or Istvan?
I can see one. Can you still hear me? Yeah. As long as human beings are involved, just a moment, I will put it here. Involved in a project project manager will always be necessary, no matter how you code the role. PM, CapEx lead, product manager, Scrum Master, Scrum Manager, my experience of the last 15 years. Yes, this is what I can what I can tell you as well. Someone needs to be there who can represent the structure, and we're just using different naming conventions, but we must ensure and we must tell that the role and the role description and the content of the role, it's growing. So I clearly see that it's growing, and this is so overwhelming today. What we call like project manager by definition. And this is why we have this kind of support tools and ideas on the table, what you can use to really help in your career development. Yeah, I think that's it from my side.
Great. Thank you very much. And we would like also to thank our organizing team. This is Gopal Gupta from our virtual events team, PMI Switzerland, and Annette Varga from digital marketing and sales specialist from Capture Group. Thank you so much. This team was working hard behind the scenes to make this webinar happen today. We would like also to invite you to our further upcoming PMI events. Don't miss our PMI events, from leadership workshops to casual networking and the Christmas market. Just follow us and stay updated. PMI provide a wide range of different events which are very insightful, casual, and you can gain new skills, expand your knowledge, and just meet some interesting people. Also, if you'd like to share your skills or volunteer your knowledge, consider to become a PMI member and join our volunteer community. Email us and find some field where you would like to be. PMI also offer a mentorship program. Either you are a mentor and you would like to share your expertise, meanwhile earning PDUs, or as a mentee to learn and grow with the support of experienced professionals. I was a mentee myself, and it was a fantastic experience. I would truly recommend it to everyone. All you need is to be the PMI Switzerland member. Don't forget to follow us on the social media and stay in touch for the latest updates. And of course, we are very grateful to our speakers and for you, our dearest attendees. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. I hope you enjoyed this session and found it insightful as I find it. We look forward to welcome you again to our future events. Have a wonderful day or evening whenever you are in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.